I have to say, the thought of making this video is making me feel quite hungry. Alright, this is a series I've created to talk about the games in which I've collected all the achievements. There's plenty of those because I am an achievement hunter, and of course there are many more to come, including Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, because I am definitely 100%ing that as soon as it comes out. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Welcome to Kingdom Come Deliverance. This is a medieval RPG that takes place in 1403 Bohemia. You start the game as Henry, the son of the Skalitz blacksmith. Well, you end the game as Henry too, you play the whole game as him. I don't know why I phrased it like that. Skalitz is a mining village, and a major source of silver. Henry is basically a peasant that can't do anything right, because he doesn't know how to do anything. However, his father is the Skalitz blacksmith, and he is quite renowned. So Henry does sometimes help his father out, but when he isn't out drinking, throwing shit at houses, or getting in fights. When the game starts out, Henry is helping his father craft a sword for Sir Radzig Kobyla, the Lord of Skalitz. He has a lovely girlfriend that gifts him alcohol, he hangs out with his friends and causes trouble, and he practices sword fighting with a teacher because he finds it quite cool. However, his skill of wielding a sword is absolutely trash. Whatever he's paying for those lessons is definitely too much. Soon after the beginning of the game, Skalitz gets raided by Cuman mercenaries, led by bald-headed mustache man. His name is Markwart von Aulitz, but there's no way anyone is remembering that, so he shall from now on be known as the bald-headed mustache man. Trademark. The whole village gets burned to the ground, and most of the villagers die during the attack. The casualties include Henry's parents, whose demise Henry watches helplessly. He doesn't have time to get into the castle like the rest of the survivors, so he has to run away. Sir Radzig tells him to go to Talmberg, a neighboring village. So Henry takes the sword him and his father were making and starts running. Before getting on a horse, he notices that some of the Cumans caught Teresa, the miller's daughter, and are assaulting her. So he does what any man should, and he distracts them and then runs away like a little bitch. The Cumans follow him on horseback, but Henry manages to make it to Talmberg with only one arrow inside of him. Not bad. He gets treated and well fed, but because he's a stubborn young lad, he wants to do something everyone is telling him not to, which is to go back to Skalitz and bury his parents. So he sneaks out of Talmberg and goes to Skalitz, carrying only his sword. He almost successfully buries his parents, but then, oh no, nobody was expecting this, he gets attacked by bandits and gets his sword stolen. He makes it out alive only thanks to Teresa, if you remember from earlier when Henry distracted her aggressors. Well, she's paying back the favor already. She shows up with the Talmberg guards and they drive the bandits away. The rest of the story is focused on Henry trying to get his precious sword back and getting revenge on bald-headed mustache man for burning his village down. As I mentioned previously, at the start Henry can't do anything, so you need to practice everything. All of your skills are nicely documented inside of the game. You have your combat skills, but you also have alchemy, drinking, herbalism, horsemanship, houndmaster, hunting, lockpicking, maintenance, pickpocketing, reading, and stealth. Yeah, quite a lot of stuff. A controversial aspect of the game is the sword fighting. It is extremely realistic, which makes it really frustrating if you suck at it. Without learning and practice, you will suck at fighting. And some people still suck at fighting, even after learning and practicing. I, for one, found it really fun. The game doesn't hold your hand at all, unlike any other games, so once you do master combat, it feels extremely rewarding. There's nothing better than taking on 3 fully armed soldiers by yourself and coming out on top. Improving Henry's skills is a central part of the game. As you use a skill more, you get better at it. For example, the more you read, the better you are at understanding books, and the more you practice sword fighting, the more techniques you learn. One strategy that worked for me was to dedicate some time to training with Captain Bernardin Ratte. It is a great way to boost your combat skills without the risk of dying. And trust me, learning everything he has to teach is extremely helpful. Master strikes are where it's at. The game has an enormous amount of content. The map is huge with plenty of cities to explore, characters to interact with, and a lot of available side quests alongside a pretty lengthy main story. 54 side quests to be exact, but that's only in the main game. If you get the DLCs, you also get more side quests in those. There are also a lot of features, including stealth options like pickpocketing, lockpicking, poisoning food supplies if you want to go that route instead of the usual I go in, I kill people with big sword, yes! For those of you that suck at combat, that can be a great alternative. Just sneak in and poison some motherfuckers. A really impressive aspect of Kingdom Come Deliverance is its commitment to historical accuracy. The game's setting, events, and even many characters are based on real historical figures and events. This adds a layer of depth and realism that many RPGs lack. You can see the effort Warhorse Studios put into researching the period and incorporating that into the game, from the architecture to the clothing and even the social dynamics of the time. This game can also be heavily modded. You can just go to nexusmods.com/Kingdom Come Deliverance and you can choose from a collection of around 1200 mods to add to your game. As you'd expect, the mods range from graphic changes, quality of life improvements, all the way to full-blown cheats. One I would definitely recommend is instant herb picking. That way you won't go mental watching an animation every single time you pick up a flower. Okay, so achievements. It took me almost 300 hours to get all of the 82 achievements. That's a lot of hours to put into a single player game, but to be honest with you, it did not feel long at all, because I enjoyed every single moment of it. You can probably get everything done in a shorter amount of time, I just didn't rush it at all. The most popular achievement is Blacksmith's Son, which 80.4% of players got, and the rarest one is Merciful, sitting at 0.7%. Most of the achievements are unlocked by doing specific actions throughout the game, either in main story quests or in side quests. Some achievements are your classic do X amount of whatever activity, like collecting 10,000 herbs, winning 1000 groschen gambling in a dice game, groschen being the currency in the game, kill 50 enemies with headshots, and a few others. You have Hardcore Henry for finishing the game in hardcore mode, which I recommend doing in the same playthrough as Taste But a Scratch, in which you have to finish the game with all hardcore negative perks active. That way you only have to suffer through hardcore mode one time. A classic Discover All Locations type achievement, which in this game takes the form of discovering all wayside shrines and conciliatory crosses, and then some really specific achievements, which is why they are the rarest two achievements in the game, finishing the Privislavitz DLC without being able to read, and finishing the main storyline without killing anyone. Overall, other than the two hardcore achievements, none of the achievements are difficult to get. They just take a bit of time and knowledge of their existence so that you know what you have to do to get them. Sadly, you do need to own all the DLCs if you want to get all the achievements, because I'm pretty sure every single DLC has some achievements tied to it. On Steam, out of 96,615 reviews, the game is rated very positive. Nothing noteworthy to mention here, people either love the game or they complain about it being too hard because it's too realistic. A bunch of pussies. But I repeat, absolutely not a single noteworthy review. Not one. Editing Ed here. I just wanted you to know that I just found a great fucking review and I just wanted to share it with you all. So just there you go, pause the screen and read this, because it actually made my day. In conclusion, I could talk about this game a lot, but to be honest, I don't have to. The game is just that good. It speaks for itself. For it being the first game Warhorse Studios made, I believe that their success with following titles will be astronomical. If you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend diving into it. And for those of you who, like me, can't wait for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, let's hope it builds on this foundation in a unique way and delivers even more incredible experiences.